Well, hello YouTube. It's a nice dreary cold morning in Florida this morning. Cold for us means it's about 51 degrees and of course it's raining. But I am working with a Ford 4.6 and a F-150. This is a 2002. And I don't know if maybe you're looking for it because you've had this problem, but this pipe right along the back side, you can see the rust stains on it. This is a common problem that they rot away, especially if people run just water in their cars. They don't keep, proper coolant in it. And this one's leaking right at that stem up there where that little pipe goes upwards. It rotted through right there. So what you have to do to get these is you have to remove the intake manifold to get to it. You don't have to remove the valve covers or the timing cover or the water pump. I'm doing timing chains and a water pump while I'm in here. The timing chain had a little bit of a rattle, so those things you don't have to take off, but you do have to take off your intake manifold. And when you do, you should see this pipe, and it should be a solid pipe all the way to here. Somebody's been in here before and they saw it was rotted through down here somewhere, and they cut it off and put a hose in there. Why they did that, didn't go ahead and fix it properly, I don't know. Why they did that and then put water back in the car, I don't know. But we're here, so now there's two bolts on the back side, and I've already removed them. I'm going to move this flashlight for a second. Maybe I'll set it there. Okay. I've already removed all this. I just wanted to set it in position for, so you can see it. But there's two bolts on these brackets back there. See, 1, 2. And I think they're a 13 millimeter. And then up here on the original one, it's a slip fit. But most of the times people find that it doesn't slip, and that's why I'm making this video. Alright, better lighting. What it should do is this piece right here is still a piece of the original pipe, and that slips over a little nipple on the back of the water pump housing. So most people can't get it loose, and what happens is they end up breaking the pipe, and then they put a hose over it, which is just what happened here. So let me see if I can find the new one. Here it is. Okay, here's your new one. Motorcraft part number KT19. I got this at Rock Auto for about $17. Okay, and it's supposed to slide over that nipple right there. But we got to get the old piece of pipe off first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat it up. There's various methods to heat it up. I'm going to use an inductive heating method. You can use a propane torch and just be careful with it. You don't set something on fire. But I happen to have a nice fancy inductive heating unit. I'm going to use that. Because I'm using an iPhone and a flashlight, I'm going to stop the video here and do the heating process. I wish I could show it to you, but I just don't have the setup for it. But basically, I'm going to heat this up. And what's going to happen is the O-rings underneath and the rust underneath that, the expansion is going to cause them to release. And I'm going to walk this back and forth with a pair of pliers, just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until I can get it to come out. All right, that's the plan. Stay tuned. Before I get started, I thought I would mention that you're going to want a pair of locking pliers, right, so that you can move this thing, rock this thing back and forth when it's scalding hot. But you also want to already have them set to kind of the tension that you want to have. Not super tight, because we don't want to. We're trying to expand that pipe, so we don't want to make this clamp down so tight that it crushes the pipe back down again. So we just want enough to where it's going to grab a hold of it and rock it gently back and forth. So have those already ready to go at the tension you want before you start heating, so that you can just quickly grab them and set them on there once you've got that pipe nice and cherry hot. Okay? She's a little hot. Let's see if we can get her. No, see how that's crushing in already? All right, let's go back here. did just exactly what I didn't want it to do. Crushed in a little bit. So we're going to keep working at it. I don't think I'm going to be able to film it. Alright, well, come back soon. Okay, as you can see, that did not work as well as I hoped. Looks like the nipple underneath was just as deteriorated as the pipe over the top of it. But they do have a replacement nipple that's sold by Dorman. I will get the part number. I'll put it in the video. I'll probably stop the video and show it being installed too, so I'll show you the part then. But before I go out to get the part, I want to drive this one out. So it's a good thing I had already had this water pump pulled off, because what I'm going to do, and you can see I've already started. This is new material here. It's press fit in. So what you want to do is go ahead and push it out of there with an appropriate size tool. What I found for me is I took a 1/4 inch socket. I think this is like it's a 13 millimeter 1/4 inch deep socket. And it just happens to fit perfectly in that little lip, just enough to get, catch the edges of the pipe that we're getting rid of. All right. Then I put something over the top of it to give me some extension. I don't like hammering on the inside of sockets. I'd rather hammer on the outside of them. So I got this all set up, and I've already got it moving. And I can't swing a hammer and hold the phone, but I just wanted to, right like that, just tap it on out of there. I'm using a dead blow hammer, a decent size one, because it is press fit, but it's better to use a heavy hammer and a light stroke than to use a light hammer and a heavy stroke. Just because you have less accidents that way. All right, I will show you the piece once I've got it removed. Okay, now that I have it driven out most of the way, I can kind of show you it coming out. There we go. Tap, 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 tap. Come on, light taps, heavy hammer. We don't mess up anything. All right, and she's out. And I didn't drop my socket into the engine. It just went on the ground. So dangers of doing stuff like that with one hand. But here is our piece. Yeah, oh yeah, that thing was bad. I'm kind of glad I didn't get this to slip off, because it would have just rotted away there in a couple months anyway. So we're going to go into town and get this replacement piece. Supposedly Dorman makes one. Hopefully it'll fit. Dorman has saved me quite a few times. I know they got a bad reputation, but they make so many things that will save your butt, even if they don't fit exactly perfect. It's worth a shot every time, because they make a lot of stuff that will help you out. And no, I'm not sponsored by them. I don't really want to be sponsored by them. But, so I'm going to stop it here, and we're going to take a run all the way to one town over, because my local Advanced Auto didn't have it. But they had it at a hub store the next town over. So I'm going to go over there, get the part, and I'll start the video again then. All right, so here we are with our new piece. It's Dorman 626-571. They call it a heater hose assembly, but I guess it goes as part of the heater hose assembly. Anyway, so it's going to go back in, and you can see it's got a shoulder on it, so we're going to push it in through the front of the, from behind the water pump, and push that back in place. So I put a little bit of silicone grease on it to make it a little easier to go in and to protect the O-rings. And we're going to do kind of the same method with a socket. I found this size, what is it? So, what, a 19 millimeter? Yeah, 19 millimeter socket. And then I've got a drift that I can use to push that in. So we're going to tap that back in place. Again, I don't have enough hands to hold the camera, so I'll get it started and then I'll show you the rest. And there she is, all happy seated in there. You can see up on the top. Look at that, nice and shiny. So we'll get the new tube on there. And it's gonna go and slip fit right on. Like, oh, my hand's in the way, you can't see. There she goes. Slip, slip, slip. Look at that. Kind of like it was made to go there. And then we'll fasten it back up in the back. I'll take the sticker off so it's not just flapping around in the breeze. And that part's done. Now I got to do my timing chains and put the water pump back on. I'll probably just replace the water pump. I mean, there was nothing wrong with it, but I don't see the point. Oh, that rust. Rust, rust, rust. Do yourself a favor. Never let your coolant get rusty. Put coolant in it, not water. No, and especially not tap water. Anyway, so that's the end of that little show and tell. I hope that helps some of you guys. I know this could be a frustrating problem, but the parts were pretty easily found, especially as I was really happy that was in stock reasonably locally, that little stub we needed. And then I had ordered in this pipe because I knew it was leaking before I even took the engine apart. And again, it was from Rock Auto, and it was like $17.91 or something, pretty cheap. So parts wise, it's not a bad job. It's just time consuming because you'll have to pull the intake off. All right, you guys have a great day.